It's mailbag time here on Chicago Bears Now. I am Harrison Graham, your host, as always. Appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us and for submitting your questions. Let's start with some super chats here. We got B. Ryan Gaming. How are people going or giving up on Fields when people like Danny Dimes and others are still starting? It is pretty telling and comical, as producer Jack says in my ear, that you would quit on a quarterback after a year who, when he missed some time with injuries, he was playing for a staff that got fired. Look, if he's terrible this year, let's revisit it next offseason. But if he shows even slight improvement, I'm giving him through next year too. You got to give this guy every chance to be the starting guy. Yeah, Daniel Jones is still starting in the NFL, guys. Like, let's give Justin Fields an opportunity to show that he can be the guy for the Bears. James Thomas, how do American NFL fans feel about games being played in the UK? James, first of all, welcome if you are over in Europe somewhere. Appreciate you for tuning in. I think for the most part it's pretty well received. I mean, fans understand that the NFL is trying to become a global sport. Those stadiums and arenas fill up pretty well when games are over there. There's a reason they're going to Germany now, Spain in the future as well. They play in Mexico City. It's smart by the NFL, and honestly, for us football junkies, it's kind of nice because then you have football literally all day. You can get up and eat some breakfast and watch football at 7 a.m. So I like it. I'm a fan of it. I'd love to go to Europe for an NFL game sometime. I think it'd be really cool. Jason Howard, appreciate the $5. No question, just love the content here on Chat Sports, and wanted to say thank you once again. Jason, people like you are the reason why I do it. Most of you guys are positive, even for the ones who aren't a huge fan of me or aren't always positive, bring some negative energy. That's okay too. I do it for the people. That's what we're about. If you love this show, if you love the interaction, subscribe. I think we're the most interactive Bears channel here on YouTube. Big Bobby, should the Bears sign Odell Beckham Jr.? Haven't had an OBJ question in a while, so the answer is maybe. He's still recovering from that ACL. Played in 12 games last year with the Rams. Thought he played pretty well. 7 touchdowns, 593 yards. I think this includes playoff stats, by the way, as well. I thought he looked really good in the playoffs before suffering that injury. We'll see when he returns. I'm open to it if the price is fairly cheap, but if he's going to miss half the season, then obviously you can't pay him that much. What do you guys think? Should the Bears sign OBJ? Type Y for yes, type N for no. If I know he's fully healthy, then hell yeah. If not, probably makes sense for him to sign with a bigger contender. Master Wu sends in $5. Ask a question next time, Master Wu, but we appreciate it. Alan Mack, hashtag Bears. With all the cap room we have for next year, we go for DK Metcalf, Quenton Nelson, re-sign Roquan Smith. Doable if they don't re-sign with their teams? Sure, if those guys hit the open market, then yeah, it's absolutely doable. Now, I don't expect Metcalf to become available. I really don't expect Quenton Nelson to become available either. You're talking about the best guard in football, and they just committed to Matt Ryan. I do think Roquan Smith is going to get signed to a new deal, hopefully before next offseason. But, yes, in theory, Alan, the Bears are going to have a lot of money to go make some moves. So if they want to swing big, if some of these big-name free agents become available, I think it's a possibility that could happen. Bradley says, bring back Akiem Hicks. Yeah, we talked about this on a mailbag last week. A lot of you guys seem on board. I'm on board if the price is right. Kind of surprised he's still unsigned, if I'm being honest with you. So if he wants to come back to Chicago for $3.5 million or something like that, I'm in. Bring him back. Steven says, sign Cole Beasley. I'd be open to it. He didn't play as well last year. Obviously, I won't speak to how much it was a distraction for Buffalo because we don't know, but obviously people didn't like how vocal he was about his vaccine stance. I don't really care about it, but it does lead to extra questions that teams have to deal with. And what do teams not like? Distractions. They don't. And fair or not, he was a distraction for Buffalo last year at times. But when he's healthy, he's a good slot receiver. I'd be open to it. He's still a good player. He's not what he was 3 years ago, but Could he catch 50 balls for you? I think it's a possibility. Be sure to follow us here on Rumble as we are trying to get to 700 followers. We're at 688 right now. We only need 12 more. So help us out. Give us a follow on Rumble. Rumble.com/BearsNow. That is Rumble.com/BearsNow. Hit that follow or subscribe button. If you're on your laptop, it'll say subscribe. But if you're on your phone, it should say follow. So help us out. Rumble.com/BearsNow. More content here from the channel. Master Wu 28, out of all the new players on the roster, appreciate the super chat, by the way, thus far, who do you think makes the most impact? Out of all the new players, I'm going to say Byron Pringle and or some of the rookies. Actually, hot take, Lucas Patrick could have a huge impact. That center quarterback relationship is important. I think he'll be much better than Sam Mustipher, so I think he'll have an impact. Pringle, and then I think Gordon Brisker and Velus Jones will all be solid players. So I think from that grouping of players, those guys will have a big impact. Tavon Young could have an impact as well. It's hard to pick one guy. I wouldn't say one guy stands out, but there's a few names. Ice Swallow. Good one. Do the Bears have the worst wide receiver core? This has to be Chugs, doesn't it? I don't think it's the worst, actually. Is it great? No. Is it even good? It's not good. It's average, maybe below average. But I think Darnell Mooney's a really good player. I think Pringle's underrated. And if Velus Jones is who the Bears think he can be, then it's like, okay, if those three players are good, yeah, maybe the depth isn't great, but I like Tajay Sharp as a depth guy. I think Equinemius St. Brown as a wide receiver 4 or 5 is fine. I don't think he's a 3. David Moore's a competition. You've got Daz Newsome. If one or two of those guys emerge as decent depth pieces, I don't think it's as bad as it looks. Alan Melendez, will the Velus Jones hype be warranted? Well, we won't know until the season starts, will we? Who knows? I think he's got flashy potential. He's got good speed. He can make people miss in open space. He's physical like a running back. He's a good return specialist. So there's reasons to be excited. Now, he's got to prove it in the offseason, training camp, preseason, and on into the season. I think there's a chance, but there's also a chance he's not that good. We have to see him play some football first. Okay, Bears fans, especially those that live in or around the Chicago area, name a pizza joint that you don't like in Chicago. I've heard about all the places you do like. We know about, Lou Malnati's and all the big ones. But name one you don't like. I want to know, because I'm putting a list together of good places and not good places. So let me know which pizza joints or joint, one or more, and if you like other joints, that's your choice. But let us know, which ones do you not like in Chicago? Joe Chavez, seems like the front office is rolling with what they have in the wide receiver room. Yeah, you signed Tajay Sharp and Dante Pettis. Kind of feels that way, right? Would I like them to add another at least big-ish name, a number 2, number 3 type? I would, but, it doesn't seem like they're going to. So I'll say this. Ryan Poles, this front office, has created a ton of competition at wide receiver. Hopefully that brings out the best in a couple of these guys deeper on the depth chart. Steven with the super chat. Appreciate that. So what is going to happen with Larry Ogunjobi? I don't know. He visited with the Jets for 2 days. Hasn't signed as of yet. Obviously his contract fell through with the Bears due to that failed physical. I don't know if he's passed a physical yet for a team. Who knows? He's going to play football somewhere, I assume, this year. But he remains unsigned. The longer that's the case, makes me wonder if the Bears could still sign him. We'll have to wait and see. Quinn for Defensive Player of the Year, or sign Will Fuller or Ndamukong Suh. If I had to rank them, it's tough. I like the idea of signing both. Suh's probably safer because he's been healthy and he's been productive the last couple of years. But I think Fuller's skill set fits pretty well in this offense. So how about both? Why not? Caden Gunvaldson, do you think the coaching staff plans to help Justin Fields by running the ball 3 out of 4 plays? The Bears will not run the ball 75% of the time. No NFL team does that. Could it be more 50-50? On average, teams throw it 55 to 60% of the time. I think the Bears could be in that 50-50 range, but a lot of it depends on how the game is dictated. If the Bears are playing from behind, they're going to have to throw the football more. So I think they want to be balanced. They want to get Fields on the edge, set up play action. So, yeah, I think they'll want to run the football, but not 75% of the time. No team does that. Appreciate all your questions. Again, if you would follow us on Rumble, that would be a huge help as we post more videos over there, rumble.com/BearsNow. If you're watching on Rumble, just hit that follow button. We appreciate it. Rumble.com/BearsNow.